Good morning, James.
Good morning, Scott.
And for everyone listening, welcome to our sixth podcast, episode 6 of the Golf Talk podcast. Two average golfers just talking about golf topics and the latest news, bringing our predictions for the week ahead and stuff. And totally unscripted. And also, we bring some topics to each other that we don't know what they are. So our reactions are as real as if we're just having this chat on the golf course. This is where it's all started. Are you well, James?
Very well. Yourself?
I'm good. Interesting weekend of golf again.
Yeah, I know. The Arnold Palmer Invitational.
Yeah. This week, yeah. And before we get cracking into the show, just a quick word from our sponsors, Scurfield Associates. So we would like to thank our sponsors for supporting this podcast. They are Scurfield Associates, who help families protect their wealth now and in the future, ensuring their assets pass safely to their loved ones. For more information, check out their website, www.scurfieldandassociates.co.uk, the preservation of wealth specialist. Well, as always, grateful for that, James.
No, you're welcome. Happy to help more families.
Being a great sponsor and a substandard co-host is great connection, combination. Right, so should we just get into a regular review of last week, if you like. So we had the WGC Golf Championship. Colin Morikawa won with his fourth win. Very impressive. Interesting fourth win in under 2 years as a professional. I'm going to actually bring one of my topics. I want to talk about him a little bit more actually. But world number 4 now, and his fourth win, which now includes a major and a WGC event, which is pretty impressive. Pretty impressive. A strong field. I mean, that's the one to win, isn't it? In a really strong field. And your tips. So I had John Rahm and Victor Hovland.
Yes. Unlucky with Victor.
That quadruple bogey that he had on on Friday. If it weren't for that, he would have won. But they done well, come back from it. And you had Patrick Cantley, who ended up not being there, didn't he? Actually, even though he's the world number 10 at the moment, wasn't in the field.
No.
And your other one was who was your other one? Was JT, wasn't it? The blue.
Yeah, he finished
blew out
15th.
Yeah,
in the end.
Yeah. So what did you what are your thoughts of Tom?
So what are my thoughts of the tournament?
Yeah,
I thought it had a really good feel to the tournament. Morikawa, if I said that correctly.
Morikawa, I think.
Morikawa, that's it. He's the first person to win a major and a WGC by the age of 25. The only other person to do that is Tiger Woods.
All right, so he's not the first person to do it then.
Sorry, the only other person to do it.
Did you see?
Brilliant. Yeah.
Did you see all the other what you got? The Tiger Woods tributes as well. A lot of them wearing black and red.
Yes,
that was nice. Wasn't it?
Did you see? Yeah, and then did you see Justin Thomas's version of that? He wore like a red and white striped one, but the red didn't look too red to me. It looked more of a pink. So on social media, you got the classic on social media, people implying that he's mixed some reds and whites in the wash and the colours are blurred, which was quite amusing. But yeah, incredible comments. And with regards to the tribute to Tiger, what the winner said, Morikawa. Pronounced it incorrect. Morikawa.
Let's just say Colin. We're friends now. We just couldn't Colin.
Colin, yeah. What Colin said with that Colin double L, said that we don't thank Tiger enough. And thank you for, it just shows the inspiration Tiger has had on so many people, and so many golfers have looked up to him over the years. It's important to actually thank people. And then it made me think a little bit more about what I do for a living, where I protect families' wealth throughout the generations. And it's important to thank your loved ones during your lifetime. it's sad that when people die, then they kind of get honoured. And there's a saying that actually you receive more flowers at your funeral than you do during your life. And I think it's actually important to appreciate things. Like, I've never heard you say to me, James, I really appreciate the way you can hit the ball so far and that beautiful ball flight. I've just never heard that from you. But maybe one day
There's a reason for
that. Go
on. It's because I've never seen it.
Okay. Fine.
Well, it's because
my final point on that, Scott, was I just thought it was a beautiful tribute. He got quite emotional after the interview, and I think that's it was powerful what he said, that thank you for what you've done for golf, and obviously for a number of the players. Me, he was the reason I got into it. So Tiger, if you're listening, get well soon, and thank you.
Absolutely, it made me think: what's the tribute going to be if if he died? God forbid he didn't, but if he died in the crash, actually, that was just him.
Well, yeah, and Rory mentioned that. Just thank Rory McIlroy made a good point that just thank God that his children still have a father. Forget golf for a moment, that his children still have a father. So pretty powerful words. Rory always speaks beautifully, doesn't he?
It does, yeah. It's so funny with the dress code now, because some of them obviously the Nike, whereas Nike actually provided them with the tribute stuff that they needed, but there was a lot of other non-Nike wearers that honoured it in their own way. A few people had Tiger Woods on their TW on their hats and stuff like that. I was a little bit surprised with Justin Thomas because he didn't have he's not got a clothes sponsor at the moment, is he? With Ralph Lauren putting on him, so it's like he could have easily won whatever he wanted. But hey ho. But no, lovely tribute. I think a really good tournament. Morikawa was something very professional.
He's the real deal, isn't he?
Yeah,
he's the real deal.
There's not a lot to go wrong with his swing, is there? Really, as well as like.
That's. Can I ask a question? Is my swing similar to his?
Yeah, on a scale of 1 to 10, minus 48. Yeah.
No, just the way on impact, the way he strikes that ball.
Not at all.
That ball strike.
No, not at all.
Okay.
Not at any level.
Maybe I have to. Maybe I'll have to work on that, Scott. Maybe.
Absolutely, yeah. Absolutely.
One thing I do like about you, I do appreciate your honest feedback. You are very honest, which is good.
And you're obviously a bit delusional, but well, you do hit the ball well now, but not as not the same swing as Morikawa. More like you're a bit like Bryson, more, aren't you? A bit like hit it and
just okay.
Go and find it, but
I can't.
He has an interest.
I know we say it. I know we say it every week, but I just can't wait to get out now. I can't wait to play and just to see what my ball striking is like.
Yeah.
Would it be worth? What are you worried about?
Well, because
how long that beard at the front's getting now? Is that what you worry? You're going to trip over that. You get rid of that or cut it down. You're going to trip over that, and then you can do yourself an injury, and you won't be able to play golf for a while.
The shape when we're back out on the golf course, and that's when I'm going to shave it off. I was going to keep it until the end of COVID, but it'll be like obviously down. I mean, tuck it into my socks. But I'm a bit worried because I've been hitting. Been doing my thing of hitting at least 20 balls in the net each day, but not just hitting 20 balls, actually doing a thing of a routine of sort of the 10, 9, 8, 7, where doing a specific move and then do to 10 and then hitting the ball. So rather than just hitting ball, because I see people like video just hitting balls into nets, you're going to do no good, are you, in your practice? But I hit it really, really well, and then I hit a few over to the field at the back and all that, and the ball flight and everything was just unbelievable, and the strike of it. And I bought myself a little strike mat. I'm going to do a video on it. I bought myself a little strike mat which tells me how I'm striking it as well. Have you seen these ones where I don't have to do the video? So you hit it, and then you can just rub it over. Yeah, fantastic, because it tells you straight away if you've hit it fat or thin. So what I noticed is, even though I feel I'm striking it more, funny enough, the instant feedback is I'm hitting the ground on the ball. I'm not hitting the ground just after the ball, I'm hitting the ground on the ball, if you like, which is a lot better than what I was, because I was always about half an inch behind the ball and then just sort of picking it off, which is where I lost a lot of my distance. Which is that. So what I've noticed now, because of that, instantly I can see that I'm hitting on the ball, if you like. But so it's still a little bit further to go if you edge, but it's instant feedback. It's great. You can just and it tells
another good.
Instead of hitting into the net, it also tells you if you've sliced it or hooked it, or whether you can tell by the mark, you know, what direction it's going in.
Are you seeing more of a consistent strike now then?
Yeah.
Good. So
and
I bet
even
you can't wait to get
I know, but then it's like perception versus reality, isn't it? Get out and it'll be all over the place. Go, what the hell's happened? But the other consistency that I've seen in it, which is really interesting, is the length of mark that it leads. So that's, I suppose, where I'm hitting the ground and keeping on the ground, isn't it, and coming off.
Yeah. What are we talking? Are we talking how long? Like the size of a phone? About the size of a phone?
Yeah, size of my Samsung Note 20. Yeah, so it's about that.
So most
it's very consistent.
So most of that mark should be past the ball, though. Yeah.
Yeah. So the mark is starting on the ball and then going from there on my good ones. Yeah, and the bad ones. The bad ones, I can tell straight away where the bad ones are, where they're like, about sort of kind of a half an inch to an inch behind the ball. So
brilliant. That sounds like a good tool. You post that up on the podcast so that
I'll post people can.
Yeah, good idea. Yeah. Excellent.
Yeah, but I do. Every time we hear something in the news, like new Brazilian variant found and stuff like that, I'm a bit like, oh,
Oh God, I know.
Leave it. So, did you have any stats from the weekend, or?
No, nothing really of interest. Billy Horschel played well, joint second.
Yeah, he got a bit of a flack on social media, didn't he? For the
why?
He's one of them characters, a bit like that Keegan and stuff like that. Something
people aren't fans of him, are they?
He was. I think it was the amount of time he was taking over shots was the biggest criticism he was getting.
Scott, can you just thinking about that? Imagine if you've haven't won a tournament for 8 years, okay, and it's the final day, you're leading, and there's about 6 holes to play. I can understand that you're going to want to look at your putts a little bit more and maybe take a bit of a penalty, don't you know? I can kind of understand that, can't you?
If he was playing, if he was next playing for, let's just say we're playing our next round of golf, the winner gets 10 grand. Right? We would take longer over our shots and our putts and everything. Just naturally.
Definitely. Even something like, even when it comes to the putting, I would look at the opposite angle. So from behind the hole, looking back at the ball, just to see how you would spend a little bit more time, wouldn't you?
It would. It would. Some of the things just to that, DJ had a pretty tough course, and DJ was a bit off, wasn't he?
His driver was all over the place.
Oh, do you know? Funny enough, on that thing, I did note on the what's in the bag of Colin Morikawa's Sim 2 hat on, but again using the old Sim, tailor-made Sim from last year.
Okay, that's an interesting point, isn't it?
And I think, and again, so that's the third winner this year already, where they've got a Sim 2 hat on, if you like, and promoting Sim 2, but using the Sim from last year. And it's interesting to one because Colin Morikawa fades the ball off the drive, doesn't he? Same as DJ. So I think it's to do with that. I think that the new Sim 2 Max is probably more draw bias than the fade bias, and the guys are just taking a while to get more used to it.
Yeah, I love the fact that you're doing the just subconsciously you're doing the what's in the winner's bag. I love that. I think you should carry on doing that. I like that because it shows.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Do you want to know
fascinating.
what else has got in his bag?
Yeah, go on, please. Yeah.
So it's got the tailor-made sim, 8 degrees on. I had a look at the shaft
8
actually.
degrees.
Yeah, extra stiff shaft. So you were saying about their start.
Yeah.
So
I'm
8
making note of
degrees.
this.
The free wood is the tailor-made sim from last year, 15 degrees. With an 80 TX shaft again as well. The Mitsubishi shaft, another strong shaft. Same throughout. He's actually even on his irons, X100 shafts are quite a strong shaft. He carries a 5 wood. Now the 5 wood he carries, interestingly, is the Sim 2, and that was the same as when we looked at DJ's bag, wasn't it? He had a Sim 2 3 wood or 5 wood, but had not the driver.
Scott, what's the driver and the 3 wood? What's it called? Is it just called the Sim or the Sim 1? Is it just called the Sim and then now they've got
just a Sim? It's just a tailor-made Sim.
Okay.
Tailor-made Sim. And then you've got the Sim 2 or the Sim 2 Max, and he's just got the Sim 2, which would be the professional's one, I suppose.
Okay.
And then his irons, because he's a tailor-made camp, isn't he? So he's got his irons. He's got the P7 MC's 4 to 6 iron. So he doesn't doesn't carry a 3 iron. Carries a 5 wood instead of a 3 iron. But he's got 4 to 6 irons in one particular, which are the muscle cavity ones. So he's 4, 5, and 6. They've got a slight muscle back cavity to them.
Yeah. Are they the P? What is it? P770s?
No. Well, he's got the P7s. So I imagine the pros get the prototype version of it. And then his 7 to pitching wedge is the P730s, which are the more bladed ones.
Yeah. Okay.
And then wedges. Now, quite interesting because he's got the tailor-made 60-degree wedge in there, the mill grind tailor-made, but he's got 2 Titleist Vokey wedges, the SM8s. So he's got a 52-degree and a 56, and then a 60-degree tailor-made.
Okay, I love that. What a nice spread of clubs.
Yeah. And then we've got he's got the putter, the TaylorMade Spider, and uses the TP5 ball.
Okay, not the
TP5 ball.
Not the TP5X, the TP5.
No.
Okay. Makes me want to go out and buy the clubs now. Interesting about that driver though. Like I was saying the other in one of the other podcasts, if the most recent club isn't the best for you, and there's no real difference in technology from last year to this year, then I wouldn't. I don't have to have the brand new one. It's obviously what the stats tell you and what you play the best with. So, no, thanks for sharing that.
The bit that feels a bit. I mean, it's all marketing, advertising in it, but the fact they're, like DJ's got us. The 2 clubs that you use most in around the putter and the driver, aren't they? Particularly even more so for the pros. The fact that they're wearing sort of kind of Sim 2, driver's hats, and if you like, and then not using a Sim 2 driver, it's a bit disingenuous. But
well, I wonder what
interesting.
Scott, I wonder what their contractual obligation is. So let's just say, for argument's sake, you're winning tournament after tournament last year with the Sim driver, and it's perfect, and it feels great as you look down on it, and you're just absolutely pinging it, and you're getting the best results you've ever had. Then they bring out the Sim 2, and you obviously go to TaylorMade and you start trying it and testing it, and you just never feel comfortable with it. What happens? Do you? I don't know the answer, but what happens? Do you have to use the new driver now, or can you use the old one?
Yeah, obviously they don't. The fact that they're not using it just shows you that they don't. They can, as long as it's a tailor-made product, I suppose is the main bit. But what they probably are contracted to, which seems quite obvious, is wearing the actual the branding and the clothing of it. Yeah. So, but again, if you're right. I mean, if you're, if you look at the last 18 months Morikawa's had and last 18 months DJ's had, a lot of that is because they're hitting the fairways, consistently. You're not gonna, if you love your shape of your driver and you love the shape and you're consistent with it and you're confident with it, like you say, you look down at it and you love it, and you're going to hit a good shot 2 out of 3 times. You're going to hit the fairway, 320 yards. The idea of getting another maybe 5 yards or something like that just doesn't weigh up, does it? It just doesn't.
Well, no, and also, Scott, they're playing the same courses every year, so they're getting more and more familiar with it.
Yeah.
Now, all of a sudden, if you're 5 yards further, then you might not be playing your 7 iron in. It might be,
Point.
it might be an 8 iron.
Yeah, that's a good point.
It's interesting one. That's really. But I wonder, because of their club head speeds, I wonder if that would be, and the drivers would be relevant to us or not. Because, for example, a lot of golfers love to use the Pro V1s, don't they? Titleist Pro V1s.
Yeah.
Well, actually, it's a ball that should be used for people with very fast club head speeds to actually utilize the ball properly. Some of these amateurs you see, they're actually using the wrong ball, and I wonder how many people actually get their ball fitted for them. That'd be an interesting one.
Yeah, big topic. Yeah, I mean, I've tried lots of different ones, and I tend to, when I change them, if you like, use 12 at a time. I mean, I tried them tailor-made ones, and the new ones, the Ricky ones, but they weren't. Again, they're good for. Mine is the chipping and putting, but then off the driver, my club head speed's not strong enough, so I lose distance on it. If you like, but just sort of covering the events off. Just covering this off. So we've got the Arnold Palmer Invitational this week at Bay Hill. Amazing course, difficult course.
Yep.
I mean, the winner last year, Till Hatton, was last year's winner on 4 under par, by the way. So that just shows you the difficulty of that course.
Love to hear that.
The problem is the field is really poor again. There's none of the big boys are there.
Why is that?
We've got we've got the Players Championship next week, haven't we? There's been a lot of big events recently. If you look at the field from the WGC, I thought being not in Mexico this year and being in Florida, that WGC event, I thought maybe they would just carry on. A lot of them would carry on. There's a big English contingency that are over there and some British contingency that are playing because they're out there, so they may as well play while they're out there. But not a lot of no Rory's out there, but not many of the big boys are playing. So it'd be interesting to see who is at. My tip this week, you know how good my tips have been. So Victor Hovland was my tip last week, and it comes second. My tip to win it is Paul Casey.
Okay. Didn't Paul win it? Anyway, so
he won this.
Okay.
The Dubai thing, didn't he? Yeah, he's already won this once this year on my tip, isn't he? And then my outsider, who I think is going to have a good week. I don't think he'll have enough to win it, but he'll be up there in top 5. I think Ian Poulter will have a good week this week. That's and that is a real.
I'm a betting man
because he hasn't been.
But it might be worth a little each way on those two. Wow.
Yeah, the Ian Poulter one could be a good one.
Okay.
So that's my outsider one. I just feel with the field there, that if he gets if he has a good first round and he's in the mix, I think the adrenaline will keep going. The fact it being a difficult course means that everyone will be sort of bogeying the odd hole of it. I think the thing with Ian recently, he kind of has a few bad holes around, whereas not many of the pros do they? And I think he'll get away with it, if you like, where everyone will be having some bad holes in this course.
Yeah.
Any tip for you?
So, are you sitting down? So,
you're going to go left field, are you, me?
So my prediction is, I think the winner is going to be Matthew Fitzpatrick.
Oh, yeah.
I think I'm going to give.
I'm playing well
I'm
recently.
going to give him. I would love to see him win. I think he. It would be great to see him win. So Matthew, if you're listening, good luck. Good luck.
Yeah, been playing well recently. So good shout.
And my second is Matsuyama.
Might put a bit on in. Matsuyama to miss the cut then now.
Both to miss the cut.
So I'm going to go into my first topic a little bit, right? On the back of this, because neither of us have chosen Rory, who's a standout name in that field.
Yeah.
Had a good week again, but again did his usual of having a good win, it's like he had 2 bogeys, didn't he, in that last thing. He was never in the hunt in the last round.
No.
Then had 2 bogeys, which made it go, right, you know, you're definitely not going to win now. And then 3 birdies in the next 4 holes, to finish the round off and end in the top 10 again. So, bear in mind, we've got the Players next week, which is what he won the Players Championship last year, didn't he? And it felt like it was going to go, really sort of come back to his best, if you like, and it hasn't happened anything since then. So my question to you about McIlroy is, I don't doubt he'll win an event again, but has he lost the ability to win a top tournament now, like a major Players, or even though he won the Players last year, but has he lost that ability to win a major now, and also to just a strong field, an event like a WGC was a strong field? Has he lost that ability now just to actually blitz that field like he used to and just really be the name that everyone feared when he got into the leaderboard?
No, I don't think he's lost that ability to win. He was one of the ones that openly said he really struggled with no fans being around, and it took him months and months and months to get his head around the whole process, that this could be a couple of years until fans are allowed back. We're starting to see more fans come back, in drips and drabs, but he struggled with that. I think it's an odd one. I think we naturally, because he's so gifted, I think we think he should be doing better than he is. And I think there's that balance between, putting so many kind of expectations on someone that, how many majors has he won? 4?
Actually, I know he's won he's not won the Grand Slam, he's the Masters of the Grand Slam. Go on, keep talking, and I'll find out.
Yeah, but he hasn't won a major for a number of years now, and the only one he's missing is the Masters.
He's won 3, so he's won 1 of each except the Masters. 3. Yeah, so he's won 1 year.
So he's won 3.
When
did he win the last?
2014 was his last major.
Wow, so that's 7 years ago.
Yeah.
So he hasn't won a major in 7 years.
No.
And you'd have thought in 7 years you'd have thought he would have picked up what, 2, maybe 1 every 3.5 years. It's in 1 in every, it's not a lot, is it? But that just shows the level of the quality of golf. It's very different, and it just, again, it goes back to Tiger, how dominant he was, and
because there's being dominant and showing the trophies for it, isn't there? Which is what DJ's done. It's one event, and it's like
DJ's only got one. DJ's only got one. No, he's got 2 now, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's got 2
majors.
Yeah,
he won the Masters, didn't he?
Yeah.
So he's got.
And even like even when a couple of years ago before his injury with Koepka, I mean, he's getting back to that sort of strong field as he comes to the fore. Did again, second again, but last week. But you don't. Same about Rory at the moment. You just feel he's going to come in the top 10. He's going to have.
Yeah, that's right.
Once he blows it, and he's
yes, can't
win, then he's unbelievable, and you just think, wow, if he just had that.
So what Rory needs to work on is putting together the 4 rounds at the right time to win the tournament. You know, like we've said for weeks now, there's no point being. Don't shoot 7 under on the final round and finish into the top 10. I don't know. It's he obviously wants to perform. I just think I don't know. Maybe is his love for the game, is that dwindling slightly? He's got a young child now as well and a family.
Yeah, but then when the pressure's off, when he can't win a tournament, he's absolutely sublime, isn't he? It just shows you the natural talent of him is just unbelievable. He's off the scale, isn't it? And when
That's right.
when he's driving well, when you see one of his good drives, if you go YouTube or anything like that, search for a Rory McIlroy drive. When he's driving well, that driving swing is unbelievable. It's like probably the best out there. But then when you watch him live, like halfway through, he'll have a good start or he'll have a bad start, one or two, but somewhere through that first round or second round, you just see him where he's just putting the ball so far left, and then he hits one, miles out right because of it, the next one, and you just.
I think he's like a bit like some of the football teams in the different various leagues. I think he's someone that actually needs to be in the final round. The hype needs to be up, and fans are there, and he's actually brings his A game to the final round. That's when you see the best of Rory. But
because we saw with Ireland a couple of years ago, the one the major
that's won a number of tournaments.
Won. Yeah. The one that Shane Lowry won the major over in Ireland.
Yeah.
And he all of that hype, and it was the course, isn't it, that he grew up on. Yeah. And then he starts off with all that practice. He starts off with a 7 and stuff like that, and just made the cut in the end, didn't he? And then he still ended up in literally the top 10. I missed the cut, didn't he, in the end by 1, didn't he? And
missed the cut. Yeah,
having an amazing second round, but because he blew it on the first round, and
Is that down to mindset? Is that down to mindset, Scott, and preparation? Because the guy can't putt, can he? Well, if he could putt, if he could, if he could start rolling some putts in, he'd be winning most weeks, wouldn't he? But his putting's so average,
and it's in his head as well, the putting. But I think he's, I think one, he needs to, if you like, concentrate. Like for instance, he doesn't need to see a course, does he? Over and over again, but at these top courses they're playing at, the practice greens are like what the real greens are. It's not like the courses we play at where the practice greens are something completely different to what's actually out there on the course.
Sometimes there aren't any, are there? Sometimes you turn up and go, where's your driving range? We got this old net you can hit a ball into. Okay, thanks.
Yeah, and again, I think a little bit that restricts them a little bit. I think as well is that. If I was a pro, I would not have it contracted what putter company I can use.
Is that his contract as well?
Yeah, it's tailor-made, isn't he? So they've got to use it, and I think it's not. And I think the tailor-made spiders are great putters, but I think you've got to be able to. There's such an important part of the game that you've got to go. Actually, I'm going to use. I'm just going to test loads of putters and whatever. Or even if it takes 2 weeks off and go, I'm just going to. Just play with loads of putters and just see what I get the feel of and get some, the stats and stuff. But if I was him now, I'd be going a little bit of no pressure, nothing to prove. I mean, he's falling down the rankings a little bit now, so he's got to be a bit careful. But nothing to prove. Just play out once on the course. Let your caddy do the work for the course stats and stuff like that. Let him walk the course a couple of times and everything. Get you, understand where the spots are, not to hit it and stuff. And then. Just practice putting, just literally just feel that putting, on the practice screen for the and just almost go and smile. Interestingly, Koepka, this tournament, so he went into this tournament, but he'd only played on that course. He'd only played the front 9 holes. Didn't play the back 9. So he coming from his interview after that first round where he shot 5 under for the back 9, and he was first time I've seen the back 9. I haven't played the back 9 before. Wow. I only played 9 holes, and he was kind of asked why, and he said, "Well, it's a Florida course. I know what Florida courses are like."
Yeah, that's good point.
Yeah, and so maybe there's something in about this. Just too much prep, a bit like Jordan Spieth. We talked about. Just go out and go. I'm just going to enjoy this no pressure. Because when he's got no pressure, my God, he's unbelievable. The rounds
I
he
know.
has when there's no pressure.
That's a very good point. Yeah, just go out and play the game.
But I think he needs to win a major in the next in the next 2 years.
Okay, here's a question for you then. Okay, we'll make a note of this.
Go on.
So the question's going to be, in the next 5 years, who will win more majors, Rory McIlroy or Morikawa?
Oh, Morikawa.
Yeah, that would be my answer. I'll make a note of it. I'll catch up with you in 5 years' time. All right.
Definitely. You'll still be in the rough. Then the
okay. So how many will Morikawa win in the next 5 years? What do you think? He's already got one.
I think he will be. I think he will complete his Grand Slam in the next 5 years. I think, or maybe not. Hang on, I'm not sure if the Opens. I think are the ones that catch him out. But one thing about Morikawa where he can actually improve, and I know this is silly me, saying where Morikawa can improve.
No, go on.
Yeah, I see the irony of that. But the one thing I feel that he can improve is that he's American college player, whatever, and their courses are all very similar. So I felt that when he's come across to like the Open and the US Open, which is set up very differently from any other course in America, even the courses played on, they set it up differently to how it normally is. I think that's where he can improve in terms of, if you added John Rahm's skills to Morikawa, I think you've got the best player in the world by a long way.
Okay, interesting. That's interesting.
So
how many do you think? How many do you think Rory in the next 5 years? How many does Rory win?
I don't think Rory wins any.
So that will be in the next 20 majors. Rory doesn't win any of them.
Yeah, I just.
So that means he'll go what? He'd have been what? 12 years without winning a major.
I'll tell you why I think so. Because if he doesn't win one in the next 2 years, it then becomes 2014. Oh, it's been 10 years since Rory's last major, and I think things get into his head. Obviously, like that. Whatever. I mean, I hope that's one thing why I hope I'm proved wrong, because I think he's just unbelievably the most natural talented guy. And I say his driver swing when he's on. So a bit like Tony Finau, where he only needs to find something in his putting, and we're gonna see a completely different player, aren't we?
Yeah.
I think Morikawa will win in 5 years. I think Morikawa will win another 3 majors.
Okay, so you think so Rory none, and you think Morikawa.
I think Morikawa will win 2 Masters in the next 3 years, and one
in the next 3 years, PGA. 2 Masters
in the next 5 years. Sorry, next 5 years.
Okay, 5 years, yeah.
And one PGA.
So 3, 2 are the Masters. I'm just making a note of, and 1 the US PGA.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think Rory in the next 5 years, I think Rory will win 1.
You think a bit of Masters completely?
No, I don't think he's going to.
I
don't think it's. Yeah, I'd love him to, but when all the hype's about him, he doesn't perform. When he's the forgotten man, and he even says, "I love that it's not the hype," because I think like the last Masters, the hype was about Bryson DeChambeau, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because of of the yardages, and they thought that he would just destroy the course, but they're not put up. But I think Rory will win 1, and I think Morikawa will win 2 in the next 5 years. Okay.
Cool.
All right. Excellent.
Awesome. Right, go on. Have you got a topic then?
Yes. I was keen to find out if you were to choose a 4-ball, who would be in your 4-ball? Who would you want to play golf with? Who would be
What,
your
alive
4-ball?
or golfers or?
Good question. Okay, let's just do golfers at the moment then, and we'll do dead or alive. Okay.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So have you already thought about yours? Do you know what yours is?
Well, I did until you said dead or alive, but I'll stick with mine. I think mine are all alive still.
Right. Well, we've both got Tiger, haven't we, in there? Yeah.
Yes, yeah, both got Tiger.
God, who else you got then?
Mine are. So, am I the 4-ball, or is it 5 of us? But anyway, it's my question. But we'll just do 4. Okay, so mine would. Yeah, so mine would be Tiger, DJ, and Rory. The 4 of us go out.
No.
That would be my 4 without a doubt. I think we'd all get on well, and I think also, and do you know what I think would be good if I could get a driver's. I think on some holes I might not be the shortest of the 4 driving the ball.
No, you wouldn't have done. Well, definitely not short and Tiger at the moment, but I think you'll teach Rory and DJ.
I might get a lucky bounce.
You teach DJ and Rory thing about putting from 10 foot in.
Yeah, cheers, mate.
Right, so this is what mine. So I would definitely have Tiger in there.
Yeah.
I would have Valdo in there. So Nick Valdo.
Okay. Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, it's I'd have Nick Valdo in there. And then I tell you what I'd have in there actually. That one I love watching him. Sort of kind of growing up watching golf. I would have Corey Pavin in there as a bit of a outsider.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. I'll tell you why I would have Corey Pavin in there, because even though he annoyed me and annoyed a lot of people in the Ryder Cup, is in one of the Ryder Cups he was a bit too overzealous. I think is it when the one where it was at Kiwi Island or Kiwi Island, something like that, Ryder Cup, and they got a bit really boisterous, didn't they? The Americans got a bit too like it was bloody a proper war, Yeah. And he was wearing a combat, I think, hat and stuff like that, and it sort of went into his thing.
I do, I can picture that. Yeah.
For a guy that's tiny, and can't hit the ball far, obviously I can relate to that. Not the tiny part, but the not hitting the ball far. That if you look at the tournaments he won, and he won a major, didn't he? I can't remember. He won a major where he hit that forward. I can't remember which one it was, but it's one of the shots I remember as a kid, sort of kind of going up, or teenager growing up, that he hit a forward, unbelievable forward, to within a foot over water and everything to win a major. So he was using forwards off the floor where, people like Davis Love and Freddie Couples were using, 7 and 8 irons, So I really, he's just the spirit that he had, and almost that fighting spirit. I think he'd just be a great guy to have I think you can learn a lot I can learn a lot of him, in terms of just his attitudes and the scramble up. I'd also, it would be a choice now. I would have the other one that would be a close one in there, though, would be Seve. Just to, one because you're going to hit more fairways than Seve. So that's nice. That's a nice boost. But just just being that guy was just unbelievable, wasn't it? It's amazing his record isn't better than what it was when you see how good he was.
That's right.
And again, more relatable to us because you can get into he wasn't fairway green, was he? He was all over the place and scrambled, and played his amazing shots. So
real character.
I might actually put Seve's in. Sorry, Corey's carrying the bags. Seve's in.
Okay, so Corey, I'll take him out. Seve's in.
Sevy's in. Yeah, Corey's carrying the bags. Is that long pause again? That satellite delay we have? Were you thinking?
No, what do you mean? I'm making a note of your answers.
Good shout out. Good. The next one we have to do at some point is even the non-golfers, isn't it? Non-golfers, celebrities or something like that play golf.
Maybe we'll do that next week.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. Yeah, God, yeah, seeing DJ and Rory driving the ball relaxed. Can you imagine them two relaxed, hitting the ball, the driver when they're relaxed with no pressure, just with their shorts on, having a mates round. That must be a sight, isn't it? That must be.
Be so good. I would love to go back, and I'd love to see Arnold Palmer and Gary Player hit a golf ball, and Seve as well. But even Faldo. But I just think, it's definitely Tiger. Just walking up and just shaking his hand and saying, good luck, have a good round. And then imagine imagine if he's about to tee off and his ball just falls off the tee, and I go, 2 or 1 play, or 1, like just little stuff like that.
Just little stuff like that where you can,
or if for just if I'm lucky on one hole and I outdrive him, walk past his ball and just look at it as if like, that's not mine. Just little things like that. To have that.
Did you see that where he did that to JT?
That's where I've got it from. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
That's yours, JT. Mine's down there.
Yeah.
But I tell you what I'd love to do with my 4-ball, with Tiger, Faldo, and Seve, is one of them just plays a miraculous bunker shot from somewhere, right? And I just go, well out. And I was like, we just get it on the lip that we're like, well out.
Yeah. Or when they duff their first one and it's still in the bunker, and then they get it out, and then you say, well out.
Yeah, that'd be brilliant, wouldn't it? Like I do to you today, but you did it.
Yeah, when it's like it's not well out.
Remember,
I should have got it out first go.
Remember, there was one time I thought I pushed it too far with. I mean, we do push it far with the banter with each other on the course. But there was one time I don't remember, a couple of years ago in Chigwell, where I can't remember. I think it was the 4th hole, and you did like what we said about your bathing, where you're having a bad round. You're not very talkative anyway, but you took 3 to get out of a bunker, and he literally, it was just literally just out on the lip. And on that one, I went, well out. And you gave me a look, and I thought, maybe I've gone too far.
Yeah, I was like, that's not funny. That's pushing my buttons.
The thing about Tiger, that funny talking about actually, can you imagine, you've got that game set up, you're playing that round, and you go to meet them, because even the pros talk about that they don't want to go up to Tiger. They're afraid to go and say hello to Tiger, aren't they? And
that must be.
Max Homer a couple of weeks ago, didn't he, when he won, said that he saw Tiger around, because he was obviously he was hosting that Genesis tournament, wasn't he? He said he saw him, but he was scared to go and say hello. But now that he's won, he's got to come and say hello to him. It's like even the pros, they're just still scared to go and go. Amazing. But I'm a bit conscious of the time. Okay.
Because
as always, so I'm not going to be on next. The next one I've got could probably take us a long time.
Okay.
But we've got
Go on. I was going to say, do you want to call it a day? Do you want to end it on that?
Yeah, we'll call it a day on this one. Yeah, because we've gone to now, so we'll leave it. We'll call it a day here, as always, go on. But I'm actually going to be interesting to watch this week. So without a big field, it'd be interesting to see some potential players coming through there and see who. It's a good opportunity if some people like Rory, Rose, Spieth and stuff like that, maybe to get that breakthrough, just to kind of break through and get a bit of confidence and That's what happens.
Definitely.
Awesome episode again, James. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thoroughly.
For anyone
I don't know
watching,
where does the time go, Scott? I can't believe it.
I know.
It's like an hour just gone like that. I feel like we haven't even got started yet. Anyway, we'll have to.
I haven't know.
Wait. We'll have to wait to next week.
We could have had a whole episode on Warby, really, couldn't we?
Yeah.
But so as always, thank you for all the wonderful views of people viewing it and stuff like that. Available on Spotify and YouTube, and don't forget to subscribe so you get the updates. And any questions, you can email them into me at team@golfnetworking.club. So team@golfnetworking.club. If you need a will, check out our sponsors, Scurfield Associates. All their details will be in the description, so you can click on their website, their Facebook, LinkedIn, etc. And also get in touch with James if you need to. So that's it until next week. Thank you, James.
Thanks. Take care, Scott. Have a good week. All the best.